the Rushikulya rookery in South Odisha. One of the sites for the annual Aribada or mass nesting phenomenon of the olive ridley turtles. Bordering these nesting sites are the villages of Purnabandha, Gokurkhada and Podampetta along the northern shores of the Rushikulya river mouth. And it is here that the story of the sandbar begins. Since 2008, the sandbar at the river mouth has increased in length and been diverting the course of the river. As a result, it has begun to gnaw away portions of Podampetta, Kontiagar's coastal fisher hamlet.
రాత్రి పోలు నిద్రనేదు సందరం వెళ్ళిపోతుందని రాత్రి పోలు నిద్రనేదు ఆ అప్పు చప్పు చేసుకునేది ఒక్క పూట వండుకుంది అని మనం 2 పూటలు చేసుకోతున్నాము గట్టిని తినేసామా నిద్ర పట్టేస్తాము సందరం చెట్టుని వెళ్ళిపోతాం అనుకుని భయం వేస్తున్నది మాకు ఓ పూట తింటే ఓ పూట తినగానే దానికే చూసుకొని ఉన్నాం సందరం.
Beaches that border river mouths are extremely dynamic in character in terms of river flow, periodic beach formation and erosion. It is this very nature which is said to influence the ridley's choice of nesting location.
On the coast, the sand or the beach that you see is not a static heap of sand. It's constantly moving. And how it is moving is because of why it is moving is because of the monsoons. There's the waves and the winds. On the east coast of India, usually there is a 9 months you have the southwest monsoon, which means the winds are blowing from south to north. So in that, what happens is the sands are constantly moving north. Because of if you see the waves, they're coming at an angle from the south and the winds coming from the south. So if you stick a grain of sand, it is actually pulled into the sea by the wave and it is shifted slightly north. So it keeps moving. Now what happens is, and then again 3 months a year, you have the northeast monsoons and it reverses. So no coast is actually ever static. And erosion is constantly happening, accretion is also happening.
This problem of erosion is seen not only in Podampetta but in other areas as well. In 2011, Arjipalli, around 15 kilometers south of Rushikulya, experienced massive erosion.
The problem is that the state government is viewing it as a symptomatic problem and treating it as the symptoms instead of identifying the cause. In Arjipalli, nobody knows why this erosion is taking place, but one possible reason could be the expansion of Gopalpur port, which has just been given environmental clearance. And on top of it, the state government has already announced its plans and is going ahead with setting up 13 more new ports, which will increase the problem in a big way. And there will be no place for the fishermen villages in the coastal areas once these ports come up, because everybody knows that the breakwaters made for the port purpose always increase erosion in wherever areas they are put up. And in fact, there are a lot of other man-made activities which are going on, which have effect on the sea. Like we have this SR steel dredging, almost 18 million cubic meters of sand from the river Mahanadi near the mouth, which has affected the Gaidmata beach and has led to erosion in Penta area in the last few years. And we have been demanding stoppage to this, but nobody is listening.
The Ministry of Environment and Forests introduced the Coastal Regulation Zone Notification 2011 in January of the same year to regulate activities all along the coastal stretches of the Indian mainland. This law decides where coastal structures such as ports, harbours and sea walls should be located. The law does this by relying on shoreline maps of the coast to tell which areas are erosion prone and which are not. In 2011, the National Centre for Sustainable Coastal Management released a report titled National Assessment of Shoreline Change, Odisha Coast. This exercise was undertaken with funding from the World Bank. But what does this document tell us about our coast? What were the methods used to map our dynamic shorelines? Satellite maps capturing only one-time snapshots of the coast in 1972, 1991 and 2003 were used to arrive at the rate of shoreline change. Based on this, shores were classified as low, medium and high erosion. These maps, however, do not give an accurate picture of the changes that take place through different seasons. They are at best indicative of change at one given time and an inaccurate way of planning large-scale coastal development. Over the last decade, turtle biologists have been monitoring the sandbar at Rushikulya river mouth. They have observed that a number of complex factors impact the erosion observed at Podampetta. These include the size of the sandbar, river flow, and wave dynamics. The sandbar of Rushikulya has increased in length since 2008 and has acted as a natural breakwater which intensifies the erosion problem at Podampetta. But to classify and further manage erosion-prone areas such as these, we must also investigate a range of other factors that interact with structures like sandbars or breakwaters. Their monitoring of this shoreline shows the vital importance of regular and long-term monitoring of beaches in order to understand processes like erosion and accretion and shoreline changes. What therefore constitute democratic and cost-effective methods of knowing and managing our coasts? One thing is certain, our coasts need to be mapped throughout the year. It need not be an exercise of mammoth proportions necessitating huge amounts of funding. This exercise can be carried out using economical and simple methods with the involvement of local coastal communities. Such regular monitoring involving local communities makes it possible to generate a rich appreciation of our beaches and the minute changes that take place across seasons. It is this knowledge that will go a long way in unraveling the riddle of our shifting sands.